Welcome to the Inside Man podcast. I'm your host, Tim Martinez. Our lesson for today is reward yourself. Rewarding yourself is important. Think of the inverse. You work and earn, slave away all day, every day, and you never reward yourself for the hard work that you do. You spend all the time raising your family, being a good partner, husband, spouse, good employee, good employer, but you never take the time to reward yourself. Now, granted, there's plenty of people that all they do is reward themselves. They spend every last dime on themselves. They don't save. They're not prudent. It's all one big party. And it's their prerogative to do so. And you have extremes. Life is full of extremities. On one side, the person who resents people that reward themselves, and on the other side, the other person that just can't simply comprehend why the other person doesn't enjoy life a little more. If you work hard and you never take the time to step back and enjoy what you've toiled over, what your hands have produced, what your labor has produced, then what's the point, truly? Now, I'm not saying you have to go buy a Porsche or a Rolex, but if you work hard and you're earning and you can afford those things and you want those things and you never make time for those, then life will pass you by. If you never take a vacation, if you never splurge on a meal, what happens is if you work so hard and you don't reward yourself for the wins, for the big wins, then those big wins start to lose meaning over time. Perfect example. You can have a 10-year anniversary with your wife or husband, and you don't celebrate it. Well, it's 10 years, we've been together, it's just another night. But is it? Right? It's something to be proud of. It's something to celebrate. If your company hits a milestone, you finally hit your $1 million of net profit, $10 million, and you don't do something big for the team to show the appreciation of the hard work, or for yourself, it's just another dollar, it's just another check. It starts to diminish the meaning of these big wins. So when we talk about rewarding yourself, we're talking about reflecting upon the work that has gone in to produce big results and taking a moment to enjoy the fruit of your labor. Because your labor does produce fruit. So imagine the farmer who toils in the field and produces a massive crop and then never takes a bite of the crop, never enjoys the sweetness of the fruit. It's easy to get stuck into a rhythm to where you just keep grinding, going after the next milestone, going after the next dollar, going after the next big win. And big wins are stacked up by small wins. So take the time to recognize those. You work hard. Find an opportunity to reward yourself. Create a mechanism by which you feel good to reward yourself. Some people reward themselves by donating money to charities. It doesn't always have to be all about you. Some people get more pleasure out of spoiling their kids and spoiling their spouses and spoiling their family and buying them things and buying them gifts. You can simplify it. I've heard of people that if they've hit their milestones for the day, they would put $10 in a jar. And at the end of the month, if that jar was met with all its milestones and they had a couple $100 at the end of the month, they would go out to a nice dinner. Simple things, small ways to reward yourself. We need these mechanisms to move us forward, to drive us forward. Now, some people, granted, have internal motivation and they don't care about all the fancy things or the shiny objects. I would have to put myself in that category. This is something that I've wrestled with. But I've also found it important to take a moment and enjoy life with my friends, with my family. Take the family out to a nice dinner. We have a big success, celebrate it. Life is hard, life is difficult. It's filled with ups and downs, and in many cases there's more downs than ups. So those ups, those wins, take advantage of those. Take advantage of those opportunities and reward yourself. Even if you're rewarding yourself with the peace of mind of reflecting on how much you've accomplished. That goes a long way. And this goes beyond just rewarding yourself. It also goes to rewarding your staff, your employees, your managers, your partners, your investors. People like to celebrate. It's a good thing. It's a positive thing. It's not all grind and hustle. You have to take a moment out to reflect, celebrate, enjoy the fruits of your labor. This is why we have things like the 4th of July, Veterans Day. We celebrate the fruit of the labor. We celebrate important days and significant milestones that have been accomplished. Even though that we weren't on the battle line, we still celebrate the sacrifice. Same deal. Create your own version of a 4th of July, because this life will pass you by if you don't take the time out to stop and smell the roses. You work for a reason. When you're a kid, you get your first paycheck, you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with this thing? Now, if you had wise parents, they might say, well, you want to tithe a little bit, you want to save a little bit, but the rest, after you've done those things, it's on you. As a kid, 16, 17-year-old with your first paycheck, you really have no responsibilities. That's awesome. When you get up in age, a lot of times the money's spent before you even earn it. So rewarding yourself is just something you can't get around to. And then life becomes long and drawn out and boring and mundane. Don't fall into the trap. Always find opportunities to reward yourself. And it doesn't always have to be something that you even need to spend money on. I've rewarded myself plenty of times by just taking the day off. I'm not going to answer my phone today. That's a reward. So the point here is life is short. You must find opportunities to celebrate. By not celebrating, you're robbing yourself of an opportunity and those around you that care about you. You're robbing yourself of an opportunity to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Create a mechanism that you feel good by and reward yourself for your hard work when that moment comes. Take the time out. You'll be a better person for it. So keep on keeping on. Go out there, reward yourself. And thanks for listening.